We have been joined in the studio by PeeJay. He's a Ghanaian gospel artist, he's a writer, and also a singer as well. You're welcome to the studio.
Very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Right. Hope you're doing fine.
I'm good.
Okay. So, how has your journey been so far in regards to gospel music?
Well, it's been quite interesting. I have been involved in gospel music since 1989.
I'm not even trying to go calculate. 1989. That's like 11 plus 23. That's like 34 years. That's 34. Yeah.
So this is way back in the University of Science and Technology.
Okay.
And then after school, ended up doing music in a church. But then along the line, I'm a pastor as well.
Okay.
And I had a lot of administrative responsibilities. So I guess over the years, what happened was that the pastoral bit of things and then the administrative things I had to do swallowed up the music, in a certain sense, because I was caught up doing so many other things, It's recently that I had this strong conviction that I needed to go back to the music and pick it up again. And so last year, I actually had my first album in 2008.
Okay.
I didn't really push it much. Again, it was because of all the different things I was doing then. Yeah. So last year, I decided that I needed to take up the music again. And that's when I came up with this song. It's not an original composition. It's actually an old hymn that was composed in 1904, I believe, and it's a hymn with the same title, God Will Take Care of You.
Yeah.
But a couple of years ago, I went through some very difficult experiences. And it really felt like my whole life was coming apart.
Okay.
I was very confused, wondering what the future had in store for me. And during those difficult moments, these words kept ringing in my spirit. God will take care of you. God will take care of you. And it strengthened me during those times. And that was when I had the inspiration that I would like to record the song as a single. And I put it out there. So I did that last year and released it early this year.
So, are you going to release your own song with time, something that will come from you originally?
Oh, yes, definitely. So one of the projects I'm working on now, I think I have unfinished business with my first album.
Okay.
Because I didn't really push it the way I should have. So I'm going to pick it up again. I'm actually working on that currently. Okay. And then I have other songs in the pipeline that I intend to work on. So this is, if you like, just the beginning.
It's amazing.
Really?
You know what? When you, and it's not because it's here, when you listen to a song and you listen to just a bit of it, you could know that this person understands music.
Yeah.
And that's just what I just heard, what we just heard. I usually do not find, people or I don't want to say like pastor is older, because he'll be a very swaggy pastor, Pastor PeeJay.
Yeah.
But for him to be able to sing as he does, that is what these days the young people that is the young people's understanding of music and what they do. And for me, seeing him do that, I've not seen. I think Daninete was like an older man trying to do this. Yeah. It's like the vibe that I'm picking.
Yeah.
What was the influence from all the things that you've gone through? Tell us about the influence, the music bit.
Well, you mentioned Daninete. He's had a great influence on my music ministry. But I guess that the first significant influence on my music was Reverend Eric Kwapong of the International Central Gospel Church. Because that's where I got born again. And that's where I started worshiping. And I was quite fascinated by his music. It was contemporary gospel music at that time, and it was something that I wasn't very used to. I think I drew a lot of inspiration from that, and I told myself then that this is something that I would like to do. I mean, growing up, I knew that I had this connection to music, but I think it is after I got born again, started going to Central, that I realized that this was something I needed to develop. And so, fast forward, I went to the university, joined the musical wing of the Interhall Christian Fellowship, IHCF. And then that is where my music was nurtured. I had a lot of inspiration from people like Andre Crouch, Marvin Winans, and these were the music we grew up on. So I think that these are the people who influenced my music over the years.
And you are a preacher of the word as well, like you rightly mentioned.
Yes, I am. So the PeeJay is actually Pastor Johnny.
Pastor Johnny.
Yeah. Pastor Johnny.
Pastor Johnny, yeah. I just thought that I needed something a little. I felt that Pastor Johnny
Pastor
Yeah,
Johnny,
so-
a little too
God will
strict.
take care of you.
Right. So, I mean, how did you receive your calling as a pastor?
I didn't hear that again.
How did you receive your calling as a pastor?
I think it was more through serving in the house of God and then having a certain conviction in my heart that God wanted me to do this and to give my life, my energy, my abilities into serving Him. I certainly didn't hear a voice.
Right.
I didn't have any thunder. I didn't see any lightning, none of those things. It was a strong conviction. And I dare say that when you serve in the house of God or when you get involved in the things of God for a while, something is generated inside of you. And you kind of hear God, speaking to you, calling you, drawing you to Himself. So that is what my experience was. And it's been a wonderful experience over 30 years.
So you will say that you are glad doing the work of God? Because I know that at a point in time, some people would want to give up.
I can't even think about giving up. You know, it's my life, it's my passion, and that's all I've done. I trained as an electrical engineer, but I didn't really practice it for long. Not an opportunity to work in the ministry. So that's what I've been doing all these years. Currently, I have a church that I pastor called the Shepherd's Fold Restoration Family, and that's what I'm doing now. And it's been a wonderful experience all these years.
So there have been no bad experiences, no bad times?
Oh, definitely in life. You know, I think I mentioned at the beginning that I went through some very difficult times. I've been able to put those things behind me and I'm moving on with my life. But definitely there have been challenges. But like the song says, God will take care of you. And that's exactly what He's done for me.
So like you rightly mentioned, God will take care of you. What actually influenced that one, your lyrics and everything? I remember you said, you took one from way many years back and then you read. But was there any form of inspiration at all?
Oh, yes. Earlier on, I hinted that a few minutes ago about a difficult experience I was going through.
But that is what you don't want to share with us, what exactly it is.
Yeah, you know, I've closed that chapter. And I just want to move on with my life, yes. But, you know, the song itself was written by a Black American woman called Sevilla Martins. And the story behind it was she's married, or she was married to a reverend minister, and they went for a program somewhere where he was supposed to minister. But the morning of the service, his wife Sevilla took ill, and so he was contemplating calling the program off and not going, but rather staying to take care of her. They traveled with their little boy, their little son, and whilst they were trying to figure out what to do, the boy spoke up and said, "Daddy, don't you think that God will take care of mommy whilst you are gone?" And they were struck by what the little boy said. And so the father went for the program. But the mother, Sevilla, couldn't get those words out of her mind. So she pulled a book, pulled a pen, and that's when she penned down the words, "God will take care of you." So really, it's a song that ministers hope, encouragement, comfort. It means a lot to me because of what it did for me in my personal experience. And my expectation and hope is that as the song circulates around, anybody going through a crisis, going through a difficult experience, anybody facing a challenge will receive hope and encouragement that God is going to take care of them.
There have been a lot of talks. I mean, we've had conversations on this table about the young people in the gospel circles trying to find their feet. Usually they sing in churches. Their pastors are not minding them, pushing them that much. So I like this one that you are the pastor who is doing music also and has that experience.
Exactly.
How has that affected how you relate to the singers in your church? And what is the line of action that you have, to possibly help them to be able to push further, because now you are in it and you understand the difficulties that they go through, or before they switch to secular music?
Based on my own personal experience, I've realized that there's a need to encourage the younger ones coming up, those who want to do music and take it seriously. And because of what I personally went through and some of the challenges along the years, I try to identify what is in the younger ones coming up, the singers in the church, and I try to encourage them to take it as far as they can go. Okay. And my really intention is to help them to the best of my ability, because I believe that whatever gift or ability that God has placed in you, His expectation of you is to use it to advance His kingdom and to bring glory to Him. Okay. And as a pastor, it's also my duty to nurture people, to bring them up, help them develop what is in them, and encourage them to take it to the highest level possible. Okay. So it's a personal commitment that I have to the singers I work with. Okay. That I'll do everything that I can to encourage them and not to stifle what God has given to them.
Right.
All right.
At least they know someone is feeling their pain.
Yes. Someone has been through their shoes and can understand them better. But it's been great having you, PeeJay.
It's been great.
So, let's talk about your music, where we can find it, your socials, because I know you must be trying to find your way around social media and all that. Or you've got a team managing that for you.
I have a team managing that. And, I was born during technology, so
you went to UST, so
I went to UST as well, So you can find it on Boomplay, you can find it on Spotify, you can find it on Apple Music, on YouTube. And then for the different social media handles, you just look for PeeJay Ministries. You will find me right there.
Okay.
All right, PeeJay. It's been good having you here. Thank you
very much. Thank you very much for having me.